Thank you so much for being here for the regular meeting, March 28, 2019, of the Floresville City Council. It is now 6:01. I call this meeting to order. Please rise and join us in our invocation. And this evening, please join Mr. Fred Gonzalez.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, first and foremost, we thank you for your many blessings. We thank you for allowing the progress Floresville is making on our many projects, sewer plant, sports complex, and our city hall, for example. We ask that you continue to guide and help us to successfully continue those other projects that we have embarked on. Give us the wisdom and ability to work together towards their completion, that in doing so we honor and give glory to your name, and that at every opportunity we show our appreciation for your so much needed help. Also, on a personal note, help all of us to live better and healthier lives. We ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in our pledge of allegiance in Texas pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
We do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. All council in attendance, Mrs. Cantu, Mr. Jimenez, Mr. Ortiz, myself, Cissy Gonzalez-Dipple, Mrs. Martinez, and Ms. Jimenez. Thank you so much for being here. And right now, I'll open the floor for any citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any citizens to approach the council. Yeah.
Mayor, Council, I'm Fred Gonzalez, Floresville, and a member of FDC. I read with interest your item 3F, particularly the part that talks about what you can do with or to board members. That triggers something I've been meaning to discuss with you since the beginning of the year. I think we can all agree that the need for volunteers to serve on boards is highly important to all of us, council, boards, as well as our citizens. Yet, the current way of treating those who would and do volunteer is counterproductive to attracting candidates. In essence, these folks are treated as if they're there only to serve the council's needs. First, bylaws state that they are appointed for 2 years. Yet, every year, without regard to this, you ask them to reapply, and many times replace them without any fanfare, not even a thank you for the services. In fact, sometimes they find out they're no longer on their respective board when they only find out they're not longer on their respective boards when their names are not called out at the selecting council meeting. We all need to do better than we are going to continue to see a decline in candidates. First, we need to better respect our promise on their appointments, i.e. 2 years, to the extent feasible, or change our bylaws. Tell them they're there for 1 year only, maybe. Also, just as importantly, we need to allow for input from the board's leadership to see how well or not these folks are doing. Also, selection should be an objective evaluation on how well the candidate will serve the town, not on personal agendas. Finally, some form of sincere appreciation for the service is only common courtesy. Sometimes the only note taken on their services is when a council member says something to the effect, we, meaning the council, which are there and we can take you out. Thank you for your attention time.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Any other citizens at this time?
Oh, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna ask Ms. Turner or whoever is in charge of it, about the ribbon cutting. When there's a ribbon cutting or there's a new business coming in, if someone can notify us, so we can participate, I would appreciate it very much.
Yes, ma'am, they came in the last time, but I will make sure that everybody has the ribbon cutting ceremony. As you see at your desk today, we want to make sure that we're having the grand opening for the WellMed. We'll try to continue in that pattern.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? If not, moving on to our first presentation, old business. Consideration and action to approve the minute meetings for the regular council meeting on February 28, 2019. I want to thank Councilwoman Cantu for taking care of that while I was out of town. Council, if you have, I'll give you a few minutes to look it over, and I will entertain a motion to approve or make any changes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Jimenez to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Martinez. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Moving on to our first presentation, we'd like to welcome all the wonderful ladies coming with the Wilson County Beautification Committee and a presentation to the council.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. I'm Donna Sloss with the Wilson County Beautification Association. I'm the president. And with me, I have our wonderful volunteers, Elaine Stevens, Dr. Patrice Broderick, Ginger Coleman, Heather Hansen. I'm kind of missing names today. But anyway, and Tamara Reed over there taking our picture. And because we're here to present y'all with several items that we have. A beautification award because you were in conjunction with the Wilson County Beautification. Y'all worked with us to revitalize the Texas scene in the River Park. And so with that, we'd like to present you this beautification award to display on your wall.
Thank you.
As well as Patrice has an item.
Yes, I have a short comment about how very excited that the community is over this Texas project, whether they've been to the park to see it or they've seen the photo in the newspaper or in the social media, and it's getting a lot of likes and comments. So there's a lot of love from the community for having this kind of beautification project. And along those lines, I have another little gift, which is a reminder of the beautification efforts in the community, and it is the very prestigious Golden Grabber Award.
And then this is our quarterly award that we put out at locations, and so I know we can't put it out at the park because it may not be there next time we need it, but we would like for y'all to display it here at the facility, at the City Hall if you can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's so big for us because I know you sent the manpower out there to scrape and put some caulking and stuff, which helped a whole lot. I'd also like to recognize, he's not here, but Mr. Bronson Fuller of B&S Contracting. He helped get some dirt moved, excavation, whatever you want to call it, to make it prettier and the water flow off of it nicely.
Wonderful. Thank you. I know y'all would like a picture, so
Yes,
if the
please.
council would be okay with this, we can all go right down here because.
Can we take a photo? Is that okay?
If y'all wouldn't mind, we'll go down here.
One second. I want to take a picture with you too when we sign it.
I have stuff for you when I go.
Let's turn sideways.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. One more.
One more, right there.
You're welcome. We got so excited about that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank you, ma'am.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Our next presentation is let me see, I think, our next presentation is our financials for the month of February. Go ahead and call on our comptroller, Mrs. Moreno.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present the February financials for the city. And like I always do, I present major funds. The general fund is at this moment, year-to-date collected, $2,035,610. Expenditures, $1,747,495, with a surplus of $288,115. If you notice that I updated the column for the unaudited amounts. So as of 2017-2018, the deficit on general fund is $103,705. It went down about 1,000 and so from last year, but we still have a deficit and we still need to see the adjustments from the auditors, and then that will be the final number. Okay, so the year-to-date, which is February, we have surplus $288,117. If we stay on this path, we possibly will get out of the deficit, but if we continue spending, we might continue on the deficit or maybe even get worse. The other major fund is water fund, Fund 221, and we have revenues of $758,466. We have expenditures of $737,360 with a surplus of $21,106. On the water sewer fund, the wastewater fund, which is Fund 222, we have collected in revenue $652,261. We have expenditures of $591,033, giving us a surplus of $61,229. So that concludes my presentation on major funds. If anybody has any questions.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
may I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Going back to October 2018, we had a big deficit there. And I just want to say and emphasize that we're doing a whole lot better now than what we were doing before.
You mean October of 2017?
2018.
October 2018 is being audited at this moment.
Right. So the difference, I'm saying there is an improvement.
There is an improvement of $1,000. Well, I really thought that it was going to double because the spending didn't modify itself, and so I thought that it was going to grow instead of staying steady. So that means that we're controlling some of the expenses, but still we cannot just say, oh, it stay on the same, so we need these, we need that. So we need to get out of that deficit, that's for sure. So far right now, as of February 28th, we do have a surplus.
Right.
Okay, but I hope it stays that way. Okay?
Good job.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything? Okay. So now we move on to the sales tax. And for the month of February, the city collected $344,574, giving the city $172,281.10. The same month, last year, we collected $315.54, compared to what we collected in February on the same month, on the same month. There's a 9% increase. So I want for you to note that the sales tax are fluctuating. We were, a couple of months ago, it was like 18%, and now we're down at 9%. So that is a real good trend. It fluctuates like that as long as it doesn't go on the minus. So year to date, as of February last year, we have collected $1,306,040. On this year, we have collected $1,511,000. That is an increase of 16%. So if we continue to be this way, this might assist us on getting out of the deficit.
The title line says January 2018. Are we dealing with 2019?
No, that's an oversight on my part.
Just for records.
Yes. It is February. Do you all have any questions?
Any questions? Tony? Okay.
Any questions on the payables?
Madam Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
On this, on page, let me see what page it is, page 9,
On the payables?
no, on the
General ledger?
history check report. AP, I guess it's the payables.
Payables, yes.
Okay, on page 9, I was gonna ask, on number 1300,
It's on the website technology.
yeah, the website technology.
I don't see 1,300, I see 4,996.
No, it's
Yeah,
the
that's
vendor
the one,
ID.
that's the
Vendor
number
ID number.
in front of it.
Code
Oh.
number.
The code,
Okay.
the vendor
Yes.
number or what. Anyway, what is that for, Connie?
That is the monthly fee to maintain the website and Facebook.
And just recently, we changed over some things with technology. And David Drew has really been helpful with us as we're trying to maintain our firewalls for technology. He works for us. These wouldn't reflect EDC though, would it?
No.
That's all us.
That's
So
us.
that's what he does. He's our webmaster. He designed the page and he maintains the page. All of our postings, Facebook, as we integrated those kind of things, David Drew does that. Online applications, all those kind of things, we have a webmaster that does it, and that's his fee per month.
And he also looks up the budget and the audit when he's ready and the payables. And as a matter of fact, I'm due to load up one report.
And
So
we
every
charge
time-
different departments, that's why you see it so many times. So if you look and you see that 222, so the water, the website, those kind of things are all, it's not just one department that pays it all, we divide it all for the other, because everybody uses the technology. We really are going to try to do some more things with technology, and he's going to be able to do that. I know that Councilwoman Jimenez wants to up what we're doing in reference to adding some things. So they want to do a tweet account, did I say it right? I don't tweet. Oh, Twitter account. I don't Twitter, but she has agreed to help us do that, and he will help us do that. You can imagine that it's not like a personal account, it's more governmental, so we have to be careful and protect ourselves so people won't actually steal our webpage and those kind of things, so we need to have a webmaster.
I know, I've mentioned it before, that I think this number is a little high, and when we get you an opportunity, we may want to go out for bids for this particular,
Yeah, well, I think we should go out for bids with any high dollar amounts on any given vendor. So I do believe that we need to go out for the webmaster, for the audit, for any construction that is done in the city. So all of those things, they need to be revised and reviewed because of fees and, whatever it entails. I can budget what happened last year, but for example, and that's what I'm very familiar with, is the auditors. I can budget so much money from last year, but this year, their fees went up. And then the budget it's low, because I have to pay more for, so we should be doing bids every so often. The bid that we did 2 years ago, that was on a yearly basis. So they promised that fee on that year, but this year is a different fee.
So we can look at those and probably go out to bid, because we start our budgeting process. As some of you do know, that we start that process at the end of June, because that's when the city manager is supposed to provide you with the budget. And so we can have them come and review, because usually in July and August, we have our workshops. So we can go out to bid and have those come back and present them as they present to the council as we go forward for technology. So if there's any other besides technology that you want to go out to bid for, just let me know, and then we can prepare the specs and put it in the newspaper so that we can go out for professional services.
Also, another one that we need to also, it's already timed, is a depository contract, and that's for the bank. And it's always good to do that, because they might offer something free now that they used to not have, or a service that they didn't have before. And they just went into a governmental division. So because of laws and regulations on governmental entities, they might be a little bit cheaper if we do that depository contract.
So if you like, it was okay with the board, I am presenting in my memo that I have for the council for the next meeting. I can have some recommendations that staff has that we need to go out, and then you can add to that list if you like, or take away from the list. Is that okay?
Yeah, because the way I figured this out, it's about $60,000 a year that we're paying. Okay. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
and that's being conservative, because last year we paid about 100,000. But that was the initial, it was when the webpage was barely designed, and Facebook was barely introduced, so that was quite expensive.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Yes.
That's the only question that I have.
Okay, Ms. Martinez?
How long have we been using them,
They were here when I got here. David Jurd was doing when I got here, and then we rebuilt the website. He became a webmaster then, but he was here when I got it. I know he did, it wasn't kind of used for some time, but he was here when and then the council did re-up it and selected him to be our webmaster, but he was here so at least 6 or 7 years, because before I got here, he was here.
And I didn't start working with him until I had to do the transparency star for the comptrollers, Texas comptroller. That's when I started working with him, and all of that was not on the previous page. So we had to add all of that, which was the audits, the budget, the payables, and the payables need to be added on a quarterly basis. So that's how come last year it was a lot more expensive than any other year before that.
And and you can actually go online and complete applications online now. It's more mobile friendly, and we have it interactive. So now you can go and click on something, and it'll tell you what your zoning is. So I encourage the council to visit our webpage, because it's really quite interactive.
And we take payments for utilities,
Yeah.
and we also take payments for court. Court is now more integrated than it ever had been. So we can take payments through the internet on court. And also, pretty soon, we're gonna be taking payments for the Civic Center online.
We have a question from Madam Mayor, there's a lady that wants to ask.
Oh, yes.
Am I done with the presentation?
Hold on one second, though. Any other questions by the council?
Okay, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
And we have a citizen comment.
Does that amount,
Thank you, Patty.
does that amount include security measures for the
Yes,
webpage
he
and all
also
your
helps us with-
transactions?
Yes, all our transactions, because you mentioned that's kind of information that we need to do it. So that's also firewall, but he also protects and takes care of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Khan.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have, excuse me.
Regarding the budget?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I just wanted to brief the council and honorable mayor and honorable council and citizens of Floresville. As the FEDC executive director, I just want to let you know that there is an additional amount of money that is going to be deposited into the general operating fund. As you know, we work on a pooled account. Our FEDC money is pooled with the city account as well. And right now, I just recently made a deposit Friday for the city of $327,000 for some funds that were deposited that we needed to put into that account. 227 of that money is going to go to the downtown parking lot paving. Another 50,000 is going into the ADA sidewalks, and then the other 50,000 is going to be put in for your maintenance and cutting of the ballpark fields at your sports complex. And then there is another big amount that's going to be deposited into your account sometime this week, or as soon as Ms. Moreno gets the figures that's in compliance with what we're asking for as FEDC. And that's a $300,000 estimate deposit we're going to make on, again, money that was floated by the city to the FEDC for the salary of Mr. Baker, which was my predecessor, and part of my salary. That money's been floating for some time now. We owe that money to you guys. It was brought to my attention when I looked into it, when I came in, discovered it. And so we're correcting that and making sure that there's measures in the future so that we more accurately have those deposits made into your account. And so we've corrected that. And there are $300,000 more be going into your account as well. So she can explain. It's actually just transparent.
It's not a bottom line number.
Yeah, it's not a bottom
We
line
can spend
number.
that, it's just the corrections to the books, so that the books appear as they really are, that we need to make some adjustments. The auditor, they've hired independently the same auditor that we have, so just making adjustments in the books so that we can put the money in the right place, but it's not like I get to spend that $300,000.
But you say no.
But that first one, we get to spend.
Yes.
On that and the guys, and I can have Renee in the back say, yes, we've been ordering stuff for the parking lots, yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we talked about, budgetary wise, we talked about the $50,000, but what he's speaking to, the $300, is just a book correction error that we need to fix it on the books, so that once that's fixed forward, the auditor will make sure, and then we'll invoice them, bi-weekly for payroll, so that should be okay, but it's not like we have any additional funds.
Yeah, and that has nothing to do with the deficit on general funds.
Yeah, no, just
It's
additional
on his books.
entry that we need to pay you guys, that $300,000 that was floated during that time.
Yeah, but
So we can clarify, and we won't let it, not us, but the city won't allow that to happen again.
but we will be utilizing it in our parks and the downtown, so.
You can address it with, yeah, you
So
will.
we are spending the money.
Yes, and a
I'm
good
shopping,
correction.
I'm shopping,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Good, I just thought I'd let you.
Thank you very
You're
much
welcome.
for that
Thank you so
update.
much.
Thank you for that update. Due to a time and another commitment, I'm going to move item 3E next. Consideration action to approve the street maintenance program. We have M&S Engineering with us, and I know he has given each council member some literature.
Okay, that's
Mayor, City Council, thank you for having me up here. What I'm going to do is just give you a really brief presentation on the 2019 street maintenance program. The primary purpose of this presentation is to help you understand two primary ways that you can deliver this program. One is through outsourcing or hiring a contractor, or doing that work in-house with your own public works department. Let me give you a snapshot of where we are. As some of you may recall, in January we came to you and made a presentation on the street program. At that time, you indicated an interest of doing that work in-house. So we're coming back to you and helping you understand what that entails. But we're looking at about $1 million worth of money out of your street maintenance tax account. This summer there ought to be about $1 million in there. In the street maintenance world, you want to get your money out on the street as soon as possible. Right now that money is sitting in your account doing nothing. And we want to get that money out there. There's enough money to where you have an economy of scale, and that's another way of saying you could get some good prices because of the amount that you have. The paving season is approaching. The peak paving season is the summer. Generally, the paving season starts March, April, and runs through September,